Good afternoon. Hope everyone is good. And someone watches back on playback, I hear myself creeping in. So anyway, my name is Mark. Welcome to Akwaaba Yoga. Today, Sunday, the 22nd of November. So almost a month until Christmas. That means anything this year. But I hope everyone is good. Hope everyone is well. Say hello to each other in the chat. I like this little community thing what's going on. Welcome D-Man. Welcome Steph. Nee. I think B's tuned in. Queen P, hope you're healing up well. Yeah, we're going to go for just a nice 60-minute flow this morning. Keep your towel handy and water if you've got one near you, that'd be great. As always, go at your pace. Listen to your body. It sounds a bit weird, but just go as your body feels. If you can do 60 minutes, it's great. If not, if you spend a whole 6 minutes in child's pose, it's all good as well. The main thing is that you turn up on the mat, and yeah, let's get cracking. If you've got a tall book or a block, again, have that handy. I don't think we'll need it today. We're going to start. Let's start cross-legged or on your knees, whichever's more comfortable. I'm going to be on my knees. I'm going to do just a quick round of box breathing just to get into the breath. Just find a nice seat position. Again, cross-legged or on your knees. If you need to put a hand underneath your knees, then go for it. Just close your eyes. Just find yourself arriving on the mat. Just take a deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. So you inhale, just raise your shoulders ever so slightly. Feel your chest expand, your ribs expand. On an exhale, release. We're going to start with some box breathing. So we're going to inhale for the count of 4. Hold it for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 4. And hold it for a count of 4 at the bottom. So feel free to inhale and exhale through the nose or the mouth, whichever suits you today. So on my count, let's all start together. So inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4. Hold a breath. 2, 3, 4. And again, inhale. 3, 4. Hold the breath. 3, 4. Exhale. 4. Hold the breath. Let's go for one more round at your own pace. If you're on your knees, just if you're sitting on a block or book, just remove it to one side. Let's come down onto our knees and let's all meet together in child's pose. So you've got your knees apart and your feet together. And just start to just walk your torso down in between your knees. Again, if your head doesn't reach the mat, feel free to put a block underneath your head. Just relax and soften through the shoulders. And just feel nice and supported on the mat here. So as you inhale, just feel your ribs expanding, maybe touching the top of your thighs. And exhale, just feel yourself softening down. Maybe your bum's getting a bit close to your heels as you relax. So inhale through the nose, let's start to come to Ujjayi breath. And we're exhaling through the nose. And again, just gentle inhale and exhale. And use that Ujjayi breath. Just help us flow through the practice today. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands over to the left side and exhale out. Just keep your hands on the left side of the mat
Maybe place your right hand on top of your left, if you're able to, if it reaches. From this position, you might just start to feel a little stretch down the right side of your body. On your next breath, just start to walk your hands back towards center. And this time, take it to the opposite side. So move your hands over towards the right side of the mat. And maybe, if you can, put your left hand on top of your right hand. You're feeling an opposite stretch this time. Start to walk your hands back towards center. Let's come up into our knees. I'm going to turn the face to camera. So you're on your knees. Again, if it's a bit tight in the knees, use a towel underneath your knees or maybe just underneath your hamstrings. On the inhale, let's raise our arms up towards the sky. And on the exhale, drop your left hand towards the left side until it touches the floor. And then start to bring your right arm up and over. So again, we're feeling a stretch down the right side of the body. Stretching out through the intercostal muscles. There's muscles in between the ribs. And on your next breath, just start to bring movement through the front of the body. Start to drop the right hand, the right arm down towards the front diagonal, front center, and then switch sides. Drop your right hand towards the right side of the mat. Come up and over with the left hand. So inhale to lengthen, then exhale, maybe bend into that right elbow a little bit. And then start to come into movement on this side. So again, you're just taking that left arm into that semicircle position, switching sides, and again, lifting that right arm up and over. And your next breath, let's switch. We're going for one more. On the left-hand side, the left arm goes up towards the sky and over towards the right side of the room. Feel free to have the neck nice and heavy. And on your next breath, bring both arms towards center. Really try and reach for the ceiling. You're nice and tall for your torso, maybe fan out through the fingers. And then start to drop your arms behind your body. You're taking the interlace of your hands behind your lower back. And then start to lengthen out through the arms. As you lengthen out through the arms, your chest starts to raise up towards the ceiling. So shine your heart up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in, tucking through your lower abdomen. And then release. Release the arms. Once again, take your arms up towards the ceiling. On the inhale. And on the exhale, again, take your interlace of the hands. This time your hands with the interlace going at the base of your skull. Your elbows are pointing out towards the sides. Again, on the inhale, I'm going to shine your chest up. So your elbows open up, your chest goes up towards the sky. And on the exhale, start to find length in the back of the neck. You bring your elbows together, and we're just looking for a stretch down the back of the neck. So try and again, rather than just collapsing down, we're looking to try and be nice and tall in the torso. Just use the resistance of the head against the hands. See if you can feel the stretch into the back of the neck here. On the elbow, on the next breath, open up the elbows to the side, maybe take your arms at right angles to cactus arms, and shine your chest up towards the ceiling. Maybe pinch your shoulders, the shoulder blades together, and then relax. Let's come into our tabletop. So your hands tucked underneath your shoulders, your knees tucked underneath your hips. This will come to a neutral position. Your hands and your knees are hip distance apart. And start to come into some cat and cow. So on the inhale, let's barrel the belly down, take the gaze up towards the front diagonal. On exhale, draw your belly in, navel to spine, take your gaze towards your navel, push your hands onto the mat as you come to the angry cat pose. And let's switch. Let's barrel the belly down, draw your shoulders together, take the gaze up towards the front diagonal. And on the exhale, draw in your belly, take your gaze to your navel. Find a space between your shoulder blades. Go for one more.
On the inhale to look up. And exhale, press your hands into the mat. Want space between your shoulders. And then just come back into a neutral. And let's just come into a freestyle of our own here. So I always like doing this bit because it's where we can really just own our own practice and take responsibility. Just find a freedom of movement. Maybe you'll come into an area that you feel there's a bit of tightness. For most of us, this might be in the hips. If you find a nice juicy spot, feel free just to hold it there. Maybe take a figure of 8 with the hips. Maybe want to wind up through your shoulders. Maybe for a couple more breaths. Let's all come back together and meet in our tabletops. Let's go for one more cat and cow. So on the inhale, we're going to again look up towards the front diagonal, soften through the shoulders. On the exhale, take our gaze to our navel. So we find space between our shoulder blades. Let's come back towards neutral, curl the toes under. And let's push our hands into the mat. So we lift our knees off the mat and come into our first inverted V. Again, don't worry, you don't have to try and force your legs to come straight here. If you need to keep a slight bend into the knees, that's all good. It's a modified inverted V, I like to call it. Otherwise, if it's there for you, energetically, just start to draw your heels down towards the mat. Soften through the shoulders, so release any sort of gripping in your shoulders, relax into your jaw. Take your gaze towards the back of the mat in between the feet. When you're ready, just come into stillness. Take a deep inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Just go for one more. No one's there to watch you, so take a deep inhale in and really exaggerate the exhale through the mouth. When you're ready, come up high on the toes, and let's just take small steps forwards towards the front of the mat. So you come any further, and let's all meet at the front of the mat in our ragdoll. So again, bend into the knees as much as you need to, and just sway from side to side. You might start to feel into your hamstrings here. Maybe take opposite hands to opposite elbows. Just take a sway. Just let the head be heavy here. And let's take an interlace of our hands behind our back again. So we're lifting our arms up and just interlacing the fingers, placing our hands just on the base of the spine. On the inhale, let's come to a halfway lift. So you're taking your gaze just towards the front of the mat. And on the exhale, bending body forward. Feel free to keep a bend in the knees, or if it's there for you to straighten, maybe you can start to lift your arms up and off the lower back. Just take your gaze in between your legs. So again, try and coordinate your breath with the movement of your body. On the inhale, you bring your arms back towards the lower back, and then let your arms flop forward. You can let your torso be heavy as you start to roll up one vertebra at a time. Maybe keeping a soft bend in the knees. Your arms are heavy. Your head is heavy. Let your shoulders start to roll back as you reach the top. And let your head be the last to come up. So you roll your shoulders back, standing up nice and tall and proud. Your hands are facing forward in a mountain pose asana. Just close your eyes for a couple of breaths here. So inhaling through the nose, exhale through the nose. And again, inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Start to draw your feet together. When you inhale, we're going to raise our arms up towards the ceiling. And again, you're nice and tall for your torso. Feel as if someone's putting you up towards the sky. And then bring your hands into prayer. As you draw your prayer through your chest, will come all the way down. We're bending from the hips. As you come down to our forward fold. Inhale to come to halfway lift, roll the shoulders back, lengthen up through the arms. Let's come into our first high plank. Place your hands down, step your left foot and your right foot back. As we all meet in high plank. Let's look forwards and back on the toes. As we start to swish on our abs here. Oh yeah, let's walk forwards. Let's all together drop to the knees, uncurl the back toes, and come straight down. Bringing our chest down towards the mat. So we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So you're bringing your arms, your forearms just in front of you. So your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Your hands are facing the floor. Feel as if you're pulling your chest through your arms. So you're sitting nice and tall. Soften again through the shoulders. Maybe your knees are lifting off the mat as you're pressing your toes into the back of the mat. And on the exhale, just release the head down. Take your hands, place them underneath the shoulders. Let's come into our upward facing dog. So this time I'm pushing our hands into the mat. Maybe keep a soft bend in the elbows. Roll the shoulders back. And on the exhale, let's curl the toes under as we will once again meet in our downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in. And exhale out. I'm going to come into a few sun salutations. So we're going to look to create some heat in the body. So on the next inhale, let's jump or step forward towards the front of the mat. So we'll meet in our Vinyasa, our forward fold. On the inhale, let's come to a halfway lift, hands to our shins, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, let's come down to our forward fold. Inhale, bend into the knees as we're nice and tall. Exhale, take our hands to the chest in prayer. Inhale, take a prayer out towards the ceiling. Exhale again, bend from the hips as we come all the way down towards the mat. Inhale, as you come into a halfway lift. Lengthen up through the arms. Place the hands down in front of the mat. Step the left foot and the right foot back as you all meet in high plank. Walk forwards and back on the toes. Again, feel free to drop the knees. Otherwise, bend into the elbows as we come to a 90-degree bend. We're going to push up into our upward facing dog. Get maybe our knees off the mat. Curl the toes under as we all meet in our downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And again, energetically draw your heels towards the mat. They may not reach, it's all good. On the next breath in, come up high on the toes. Again, let's jump or step forwards towards the front of the mat. Let's come to our halfway lift on the inhale. And on the exhale, release. Maybe bend slightly into the knees. We come into our forward fold. Let's come all the way towards the sky. Nice and tall again with the arms. And on the exhale, we're taking our hands to our prayer to our chest. Inhale to lengthen up through the body. Lengthen up through the arms. Bend from the hips as we come all the way down to our forward fold. Inhale to roll the shoulders back in our halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands down and let's all meet in our high plank. Inhale to rock forwards on the toes. Again, feel free to drop to the knees or come to our no plank. We're going to push up to our upward facing dog. Soften through the shoulders. And on the exhale, curl the toes under as we meet in our downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll come high on the toes. Again, jump or step forwards as we meet at the front of the mat. Inhale to come up to our halfway lift. Exhale to release down. Bend into the knees, just come all the way up towards the ceiling again. Exhale, take the hands into prayer, all the way straight through the chest as we come down to our Vinyasa, forward fold. Take our arms up towards our shins as we come to our halfway lift, lengthen that through the back. Place our hands down, and let's all meet in forward fold, high plank. Let's rock forwards into the toes. Take it through chaturanga, so bend through the elbows to the right angle. Curl the toes as we come up into our upward facing dog. We're curling the toes back underneath as we all meet in our inverted V, our downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Jump or step forwards towards the front of the mat. Let's come up into our halfway lift. Hands to our shins, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, bend the knees as we come down to our forward fold. Maintaining the bend in the knees when we come up to a chair pose. So start to bring the arms up towards the front diagonal, drawing your lower belly. We're not going for the Beyonce look, we're going for that anterior tilt of the pelvis. So you're curling your hips in, bring your hips forward. See if you can start to sit a bit more into your chair. Take a deep inhale in. And an exhale, let's curl forward. So we meet in our forward fold. Inhale to come up to our halfway lift. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, place the hands at the front of the mat. Step both feet back as we meet in our high plank. Inhale to walk forwards. Bend into the elbows as we come down to a low plank. And I'm going to push straight back up as we meet in the high plank. Again, feel free to drop the knees here. Let's go for 2 more. So we're going to bend into the elbows. So we go from high to low plank. And then push back up as we all meet in high plank. Strike for 1 more. From high down to low. And then push back up into a high plank. And let's push straight back to a down facing dog. So you want to walk your feet forwards as we all meet again in our downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in. Soften through the shoulders as you exhale. So you can create any more room to strain that through the back. On your next breath in, start to walk your left foot in towards the centre of the mat at the back. And on the inhale, we're lifting our right leg so it's parallel with the mat. Curl your toes in towards your face. And on the exhale, let's go knee to nose. So start to draw your right knee through. And then take that right leg all the way back. So it's parallel with the mat again. And on your next breath, let's go knee to nose. 1 more. And then step the right foot all the way through as you all meet in high lunge. Once you feel nice and grounded, you want that bend in that front right knee. Your left leg is straight, you're high on the back toes. If you need to take a slight bend in that left knee, then feel free to go for that. Once you feel nice and stable, start to lift up through the arms as we all meet in crescent lunge. And again, as opposed to sticking out through the bum, we're going for that anterior tilt of the pelvis. So we're going nice and tall through the torso. Raise your arms up to the sky. On the inhale, it might be a small back bend there for you. And here, exhale, cartwheel the hands down towards the front of the mat. Step the right leg all the way back to meet the left as we'll meet in high plank. On the inhale, walk forwards. And let's go through a chaturanga. So bend through the elbows to come to a low plank. Push through as you come into our upward facing dog. Again, soften through the shoulders. And on the exhale, curl the toes under as we all meet in our downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in. And exhale out through the nose. So for 1 more. Inhale in through the nose. Again, soften through the shoulders, relax into the jaw. Release any tension or gripping. Let's at the other side. So just start to walk your right foot into the centre a little bit at the back of the mat. And on the inhale, going to lift the left leg up this time. So it's parallel to the mat. Let's curl our toes in towards our face. And on the next breath, we're going knee to nose. Draw that left knee all the way through. And on the exhale, take it back. So again, left leg is parallel to the mat. And on the next breath, again, knee to nose. Hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. And a step in that left foot all the way through. If high lunge is a bit tricky, feel free to drop onto that right knee. Otherwise, if it's there for you, feel nice and grounded,
Lengthen that through that right leg. You're high in your back toes. You feel nice and grounded through the sole of your left foot. Start to lift your torso up. And it's all meeting crescent lunge. So you've got the arms either side of your ears. Take a deep inhale in. Again, maybe just a slight back bend there for you. And on your next breath, cup your hands down. Step the left foot to meet the right foot at the back of the mat. As we all meet in high plank. On your next breath, we're going to rock forwards. As we bend into the elbows and come to a low plank. Let's push through. As we come to our upward facing dog. We're going to curl the toes under. As we all meet in a down facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. So for 2 more of these. Take a deep inhale in. And exhale out. 1 more at your own pace. Remember, at any time, feel free to come into child's pose. Just listen to your body. I'm going to take 1 more round of those. And just pick up the pace a little bit. So again, start to walk that left foot towards the centre, at the back of the mat. Lift that right leg so it's parallel to the mat. We're going to draw the leg all the way through this time. And go straight up to our crescent lunge. On the inhale, now take that arms up towards the ceiling. Again, go for the anterior top of the pelvis. You're nice and tall for the torso. On your next inhale, there might be a slight back bend there for you. And on the exhale, cut all the hands down. Step the right leg to meet the left at the back of the mat. Inhale to what falls into the toes. Bend into the elbows, come to low plank. Let's push up as we all meet together in our upward facing dog. And on the exhale, curl the toes under. As together we meet in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. This time you just walk in that right foot. So it's a bit more towards centre at the back of the mat. On the inhale, lift that left leg up towards parallel of the mat. Curling your toes in towards your face. And on your next breath, we're drawing that left leg all the way through. Placing the left sole of the foot down. You're high on your back toes on your inhale. Just draw those arms up towards the ceiling. Again, feel as if you're engaging through your core. You're nice and strong here. On the next breath, feel free to take a slight back bend. It's there for you. Whoops, nearly fell over. And then cut with the hands down at the front of the mat. Step the left leg. Join your right leg at the back as you'll meet in high plank. Take it through chaturanga, so we're rocking forwards on the toes, bending into the elbows, just come back to low plank. Let's push up. As we come to our upward facing dog, curl the toes under as we all meet in our downward facing dog. High the toes on the inhale and exhale to energetically draw your legs, your heels down towards the mat. On your next breath, again, you're walking your left foot a bit more towards centre. You're high on the left toes as you raise your right leg, so it's parallel to the mat again. And therefore, another high lunge on the right side. Start to draw your right knee all the way through the body. Just place the right sole of the foot down. On the inhale, start to take the torso up, the arms up towards the ceiling. Again, you're high on the back toes. Again, you need to drop to the left knee, do so. And on your next breath, come into a twist. So your right arm goes back, your left arm goes forward. And on your next breath, let's take both arms towards center again. And let's go for 1 more. So again, right arm goes back, left arm goes forward. It's a real test of balance. You're twisting from your lower spine here. Let's come back towards center. Take your arms up nice and tall. And now let's drop that left heel down. The left foot is pointing out towards 10 o'clock. Let's all meet in warrior 2. So you're taking that bend against that right knee. Your left leg is nice and straight. Once you're nice and stable, your right arm's going forward, your left arm's going back.
Just find your focal point, your drishti point. You might be looking over the middle finger here. Just bring a sense of calmness to your breath. On your next inhale, let's flip that right palm over and come to reverse warrior. So the right goes nice and tall. As you come to that seesaw, maybe take that left hand to the left hip. Try and maintain your warrior 2 legs here. Just try and maintain that bend in the right knee. And on your next breath, we're going to come into side angle lunge. So you're cartwheeling your body over, taking your right elbow and just sitting on the inside of your right thigh. I'm going to open up through the body. So let your right arm hover. Take your left arm up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze up towards the sky. Or maybe take your gaze down towards the mat. Just use the resistance of the right elbow against the right thigh to create a bit more opening. You should start to feel it through your right hip in particular. On your next breath, let's use the core to come back up to warrior 2. And then cartwheel the hands down. Place both hands at the front of the mat. Let's step that right foot, just on your left foot at the back of the mat as we all meet in high plank. Let's walk forwards into the toes, bend into the elbows, just come down to a low plank. Let's push up. As we come to an upward facing dog. Curl the toes under as we all meet in a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Well done, guys. Let's just take the other side. If I can remember what we did. So we are going, let's place the right foot in towards the center of the mat at the back, behind the right toes, and start to lift that left leg up so it's parallel with the mat. You're curling your toes in towards your face. And on your next breath, we're taking that left knee all the way through as we come into crescent lunge. So once you're nice and grounded, let's take both arms up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. So you're nice and tall through the arms and the torso. And on the exhale, you go right arm forwards, left arm back as you're going into the twist. And on the inhale, let's come back towards center again. So both arms goes nice and tall. And on the exhale, right arm forwards, left arm back. Getting a twist in from your spine. Let's come back towards center again. Take a deep inhale in. And on the exhale, drop to the right heel. As we find ourselves into warrior 2. So you've got your right arm going back and your left arm's forward. You open up through your hips. It's a nice external rotation on the hips. Just take your gaze forward. Again, find your focal point. It might be a point on the wall. You might take your gaze again to the middle finger. Right, next inhale, flip that left palm over this time. You're going up and over to come to reverse warrior. Again, place maybe your right hand on your right hip. You're creating that stretch with the left side of the body, stretching through your intercostal muscles on the left side. And on your next breath, we're going to cartwheel the body up and over. This time it's our left elbow. I'm just going to sit just inside of our left thigh. And just use that resistance to open up the body towards the right side of the room. Again, taking the right arm up towards the sky. And maybe take the gaze up towards the right hand. Take the gaze down towards the floor. Just try and maintain your warrior 2 legs here. On your next inhale, let's come back up into warrior 2. Left arm forward, right arm back. I'm going to cut with the hands all the way down towards the mat. Step the left foot to join the right foot and the back on the mat as we all meet in our high plank. Let's rock forwards into the toes, bend into the elbows, just come down to a low plank. Let's push up as we all meet in an upward facing dog. Curl the toes under as we meet in that downward facing dog.
Go for one more on each side. Going to add a small variation of humble warrior into there. Take a deep inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the nose. So let's start on the left side, start to walk that right foot in towards centre at the back. On the next inhale, lift that left leg up towards parallel with the mat. We're going to draw that left knee all the way through. We'll come up into our crescent lunge. On the inhale, start to lift the torso up off the left thigh. Nice and high up the arms. And on the exhale, we're going right arm forwards, left arm back. I think I've got my sides mixed up. So right arm forwards, left arm back. Let's bring the arms back towards centre again. Take a deep breath in. And again, it's right arm forwards, left arm back. Take a deep breath. On the inhale, take the arms back up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, dropping that right leg, the right heel down as we come into warrior two. So right arm goes back and your left arm's going forwards. On your next inhale, flip that left palm over. Let's seesaw the arms up, take the right hand towards the right hip. Left arm goes up towards the ceiling. And from reverse warrior, we'll come to our side angle lunge. So again, left elbow comes just to the inside of the left thigh. Let's start to open up the body towards the right side of the room. You can take your gaze up towards the right hand. Move it down towards the mat. On the next inhale, let's all meet again in warrior two. With right arm back, left arm forward. This time taking an interlace of the hands behind the lower back. On the inhale, lengthen that through the arms as you start to shine your chest up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we're going to start to shift the body forward. You're aiming to place your chest in the direction on the inside of your left thigh. And if it's there, if you just lift your arms, your hands up off your lower back, then please feel free to go for it. Otherwise, you can keep your hands in the interlace on the lower back. On your next inhale, use the core as you come up. And let's all meet again into warrior two. So left arm forwards, right arm back. I'm going to cartwheel our hands back down towards the mat. Step the left foot to join the right foot at the back of the mat. I'm going to place our left hand in the centre of the mat. I'm going to come to side plank. So let's drop onto that left shin. Take that right heel towards the mat. Start to open up the body towards the right side of the room. We're here for 3 breaths. I'm going to come to the full expression. Feel free to lengthen that through that left leg. Place that right leg on top of the left leg. You go for that banana shape in the body. If you're here, you want to go level up for one more. We're going to come into wild thing. So lift that right leg up off the left. Place your right toes on the mat. So now behind that left leg. And start to open up your chest towards the ceiling. Try and touch the front of the room. So you're high on your right toes. And in the next breath, let's flip back over. And let's all meet in high plank. I feel like I'm going to pull a muscle. So if you're feeling it, so am I. As rock falls into the toes, let's bend into the elbows. So come down to a low plank. We're going to push up. So come to our upward facing dog. And let's curl the toes under as you all meet in our downward facing dog. Well done, guys. Feel free to use a towel or take a swig of whatever might be in your water bottle. We have 2 more breaths. Let's take a deep inhale in and exhale out. One more. Inhale in through the nose and exhale out. This time we're walking the left leg, the left foot, just in towards the centre of the mat at the back. High on the left toes. On the inhale, we're lifting our right leg up towards parallel with the back on the mat. And on your next breath, we're taking our right knee all the way through and placing the right sole of the foot down as we come into crescent lunge on the right side. Once you feel nice and grounded and stable, start to lift the torso up with the right knee. Again, we're going for that anterior tilt of the pelvis. So feel as if your hips are drawing forward. You're nice and tall for your torso. On your next breath, we start to raise our arms up towards the ceiling, nice and tall with the torso. And on your next breath, going for the twist. So left arm forwards, right arm back. Inhale to come back towards center. Drawing through your lower belly. And exhale, right arm back, left arm forwards. Remember, twisting from the lower spine. And on the inhale, let's come back towards center. And we're coming into warrior two. So dropping that left heel towards the mat. Maintaining that bend in that right knee. Taking right arm forwards and left arm back. On your next inhale, let's flip that right palm over. Start to seesaw your arms. So your right arm is going up towards the ceiling. And maybe place your left hand on the left hip. One more breath. And on the exhale, bring your body up and over, taking your right elbow that sits on the inside of the right thigh. Start to open up the body towards the left side of the room. So your left arm is going up towards the ceiling. Then take your gaze down towards the mat. Again, use your resistance of your right elbow just to create a bit more openness in your hip here. On the next inhale, let's come back up towards warrior two. So right arm is forward, left arm is back. And this time I'm going for humble warrior on the other side. So maybe take the opposite interlace. So maybe this time it's left thumb over right thumb, or vice versa, whatever you did on the other side. On the inhale, lengthen out through your arms, drawing your lower belly, lift your chest up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, start to shine your chest down on the inside of your right thigh. And again, if it's there for you to lift your interlace up off your lower back, feel free to go for it. Just focus on your breath here. So you're inhaling through your nose and exhale through the nose. Nice and strong for your legs here. Well done for holding. Just embrace any shakes or wobbles. On your next inhale, really use your core to bring your body back up. As we all meet again in warrior two, with right arm forwards, left arm back. I'm going to cart all the hands down towards the front of the mat. Step in that right leg all the way back towards the back of the mat. And this time we're walking our right hands in towards center, dropping down to our right knee, our right shin. Our left heel goes towards the floor, just come into a modified side plank. Start to shine your body open towards the left side of the room here. Be here for 5 breaths this time. So you've got time to level up. Otherwise, feel free to stay in this modified side plank. Again, if you're leveling up, you're taking your right leg, join your left leg at the back of the mat. You're on the outside of the right foot. You're creating a banana shape in your belly, in your body. And then you're going to go for wild thing. You're lifting your left leg up, placing your left toes behind your right leg. And start to shine your chest up towards the ceiling. And see if you can touch the front of the room. And on your next breath, let's flip back over. As we all meet in high plank. Let's rock forwards and back on the toes. On your next rock forwards, get a bend into the elbows. And let's just come all the way down towards the mat. Uncurl the toes. Let's take our gaze towards the left side of the room. Let's give ourselves a little stretch in the neck. Maybe place both arms flat on the floor, either side of the body.
One more breath. Let's just turn the head over towards the other side. So this time it's left cheek on the mat. It's taking your gaze towards the right side of the room. Just let yourself feel supported by the mat here. Quite energizing sequence. Just bring your chin to the mat and place your hands back underneath your shoulders here. We're going to push up into our upward facing dog. So push both hands into the mat, maybe keep a slight bend into the elbows. Again, your knees are up off the mat. And on the exhale, curl the toes under as we all meet again in our downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in from the nose. And as you exhale, see if you've got any more room to lift your tailbone up a bit more towards the ceiling, towards the sky. And create a bit more length in your back here. Get softened through the shoulders. And energetically just draw your heels a bit more close towards the mat. On your next breath, let's come high on the toes. Just gently walk towards the front of your mat as we all meet in ragdoll at the front. Again, your torso is nice and heavy, your arms are heavy. Just take a bend into the knees as you sway from side to side. I'm going to come into a big toe grab. So you want your feet to be hip distance apart. Again, if you're not touching the floor, which is all good, no worries, just bend into your knees as much as you need to. It doesn't matter how far your bum has to come down towards the mat. And the further you bend into your knees, you should hopefully start to be able to take both two-piece fingers and just wrap them around your big toe. So you're using the grip of your big toe, your thumb meets your two-piece fingers. Again, your knees are bent as much as they need to. Just come into a halfway lift, so take your gaze just beyond the front of the mat. And on the exhale, just use the pull of your big toes to bring your chest a bit closer towards your shins. So again, you're creating length in your back. Engage into your quads. As you turn your quads, you start to create a bit more openness in your hamstrings. So you just relax a little bit. So again, just take that bend into your knees a little bit. So on the inhale, come into another halfway lift. And on the exhale, see if you've got any more room again. Let's come to your forward fold. Again, you're pulling onto your big toes, engaging into your quads. Again, you have to lengthen out the legs. Keep as much of a bend in the knees as you need to. And then relax. Just take and release your grip. Again, just take opposite hands, opposite elbows, and come into a sway from side to side. This time we're going to go for gorilla pose. So the aim this time is to place the soles of our hands underneath the soles of our feet. So you really got to bend into your knees. So you can come into the gorilla pose here. So once you've got the bend in your knees, just place your hands underneath your feet. Just use your toes to massage out your wrists. Let's have a play. Just come into stillness on an inhale. And come to a halfway lift. So lengthen out through the arms, straighten out through the arms. Take your gaze again towards the front of the mat. And on the exhale, the hands underneath the legs, underneath the feet. Just come to a forward fold. Again, you should choose the resistance of the hands to find a bit more length in your hamstrings. So again, if you just engage the quads, just turn them on. You might find you've got a bit more room to come into a bend here. Maybe take your gaze in between your legs. And then release. Bend into your knees to release your hands out. Just start to roll up. So nice and heavy through the body. Keep the bend in your knees as you roll up through the body. As you come to mountain pose, to asana. Facing your palms forward.
We're going to turn and face the camera. So we're going to come into tree pose. So shake out through the legs and through the arms. We're going to start by bringing our weight into the left sole of the foot. We're going to lift. Once you feel nice and grounded, lift that right leg up. You're pointing your right knee towards the right side. Again, feel free to take the right sole of the foot to your left shin. Bring your hands into prayer to the centre of the chest. If you want to take the right sole of the foot a bit higher, just avoid the knees. You're taking the right sole of the foot maybe to the left shin. Again, you're nice and tall for your torso. For another 3 breaths. Again, if you fall out of this, feel free just to come back in. You're going to just test your balance a little bit more here. Just so you can close your eyes for the final 2 breaths. See what that does to your senses, to your movement. Get a shake out for the legs before we come to the other side. So getting nice and tall for your body. So meet Tadasana, mountain pose. This time you're feeling nice and grounded first for your right sole of your foot. And then just turn and place your left sole of the foot on that right shin. Sorry, the right calf, the outside of the right calf. Or again, just avoiding the knee. Feel free to take the left foot up into the outside, the right thigh. And just face the body forwards. Your left knee's pointing out towards the side of the room. Again, feel nice and strong and grounded. Feel rooted down to the mat. Just place your hands in prayer to the center of your chest. Just focusing on your breath. So just breathe in. As you breathe in, it feels like you're taking your breath all the way through your body towards the sole of your foot. And relax to breathe out. You can just test your balance maybe by closing your eyes and seeing what happens. Whoa. If you fall out, again, it's all good. Shake out through the legs. Let's all come towards the front of our mats. Inhale to lengthen up through the body, take the arms nice and tall, and then exhale to bend from the hips to come all the way down to our forward fold. Inhale to come to a halfway lift. Place your hands on your shins, roll the shoulders back. Place the hands on the front of the mat. Step the left foot back, step the right foot back. Again, feel free to drop. Actually, let's all drop to our knees. Uncurl the toes. And bend into the elbows as we come all the way down towards the mat. We're going to come into a locust pose. So we're going to place our arms either side of the mat, maybe your elbows are off the mat, at right angles. So cactus arms, I think is what they call it. We're first going to start by just lifting our left leg up off the mat. You're nice and tall, so you're nice and long through your body. First, if you're pushing your toe towards the back of the room, then place the left leg back down. This time we're going to lift that right leg up, nice and straight. Again, you're pushing your toes towards the back of the room. Engage through your quads, your calves, and then place that down. This time we'll lift both legs up. So hopefully your knees are maybe just come off the mat. And relax both legs down. We're going to switch it up by lifting our front body off the mat this time. So your legs are staying where they are. Start to lift your torso up, your arms at your right angles, and just start to bring your shoulder blades a bit more to get towards each other. So create a bit more space in the front of your chest. Keep your gaze looking forward at the front of the mat, and relax the body back down. Go for 2 more of those. On the inhale, lift up through the front body, and on the exhale, come back down. On the inhale, again, lift up through the front of the body, press the feet into the mat, and come back down. This time I'm going to go for the full expression. So lifting the body and the legs up off the mat. So on the inhale, shine your chest up. Feeling the pinch in your shoulder blades as you draw your elbows towards each other. Your feet are pushing towards the back of the room. And let's all come back down towards the mat. Let's go for 2 more of those. On the inhale, we're going to come up. And exhale, come down. And 1 more. Inhale to come up. Hold it there for 3, for 2, for 1. And exhale, release. So come down towards the mat. Let's place our hands, getting just underneath our shoulders. Let's push up as we come to an upward facing dog. Just keep bending the elbows. Maybe your knees are up off the mat. And on the exhale, curl the toes under as you come to a downward facing dog. On the inhale, let's come up high on the toes and jump or step towards the front of the mat. If you've got a block or a tall book, just keep it to one side. Let's bring our bombs down. We're going to come into a lasso line down on our backs. So length out through the whole body, across the whole of your mat, the full length of your mat. Before we come to Shavasana, we're going to come into just a mini inversion, an inversion called Viparita Karani. So we're going to just lift our legs up towards the ceiling. Feel as if you're holding the ceiling up by curling your toes in towards your face, so the soles of your feet holding the ceiling up. Again, if you've got a block or a book, I like to just place this underneath my lower back. So if you've got that handy and there's not too much of a discomfort, place that underneath your, right at the base of the spine, and just take your legs up towards the ceiling. If you're near a wall, you can place your legs up against the wall. Arms at either side of the body. Just enjoy the sensation here of feeling as if your blood is rushing down from your legs, down your calves, down your thighs, nourishing your hamstrings, just feeding your hips. Reversing the flow of blood here. And slowly, just engage for the core as you start to bring your legs slowly down to the 60 degrees, to 45 degrees, to 30 degrees. Down towards the mat. If you've got a block underneath you, just move it to one side. Just come into a twist before we wrap up. So just bring your left knee in towards your chest. Just wind it up clockwise. And take your left hand up and over your right knee. Bring your right knee over towards the left side of the room. Again, your knee might not reach the floor. If it doesn't, feel free to place a block underneath your knee. Use your left hand on the outside of the right knee, and then take your gaze over towards the right side of the room. And basically, any clicks you might hear. Let's bring it back. Let's have one more hug in. And let's take the other side. So just draw in through your left knee. And just wind up clockwise to bring some movement to the hip. And this time take your right hand up and over the outside of the left knee. Draw that left knee over towards the right side of the room. Again, just place your right hand on the outside of the left knee, not forcing it down. Just using a little resistance. Take your gaze this time over towards the left side. Again, you're twisting from your lower spine. Bring your left knee back up. Let's take both knees in towards the chest. Just massage out through your lower back. And lengthen out the body as we all meet in Shavasana for a minute or so. So relax and release your Ujjayi breath. Your arms either side of you. Just close your eyes and lengthen out through your neck by just tucking your chin. Take a deep inhale in. And exhale out. Just come back into your natural breath in Shavasana. Starting our movement in your hands and your feet. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. So bring your knees in towards your chest. And let's come up to a seated position. You may become cross-legged. Come up onto your knees as we started. Let's just take our hands into prayer. Just close our eyes for a couple of seconds. Again, just give thanks to yourself for walking up today and being on the mat, whether it was for 5, 10 minutes, half an hour, or the full 60 minutes. It's nice to practice with you all today. It's all virtual. I'm wishing everyone an amazing week. Thank you. Don't know if you can hear it, there's a dog outside. It's not my dog. It's going a bit crazy. But no, thanks again for rocking up today. Let's see what the time is. Well, 3 minutes over. Apologies. Just got to rush off. What's the time? Yeah. Thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed. Again, hit me up with any feedback. Holler to cousin Joseph. I know he did an amazing cycle this morning. Yeah, do let us know how far you went. Thanks, D-Man. Monica, if you're there. Queen P, again, get well soon. So rest in peace, get well soon. Thank you, B, for working up. Again, hit me up with any comments and feedback. Always appreciate practicing this out with you guys. It's all virtual, but I do feel that there's some sort of positive energy going on. Wishing everyone a great Sunday. Back next week, I'm not sure what we're going to do. So any suggestions? I thought we did hips last week. So any suggestions for next week, hit me up on Instagram as always, or directly. Struggled with flip dog. Yeah, we'll keep doing flip dog. But no, thank you, Monica. Have a great Sunday. I'll stop chatting. I'm going to eat some food. And yeah, take care. And I'll put some MJ Cole to finish up.